The new Medieval Town Square set just got revealed, and there are a ton of crazy details and references to go over. So here are 10 things you probably missed in the new LEGO Medieval Town Square set. First, the new door piece mold. This dark red door is actually a new mold for the set. It is kind of similar to the classic rounded door, but has a different window type and is also squared off on the top. This is a great new addition for LEGO in general, and hopefully we'll continue to see this door in new sets and in other colors like reddish brown. I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing this door in new sets in the later half of the year. It's a great new detailed piece, and I think fans of Castle will especially be excited to see this part come to Pick-a-Brick. Next up is this seemingly normal looking cherry tree and bird's nest, until you realize that the bird's nest is actually a beard. I love this part usage so much. It's really clever and actually looks pretty realistic. I think it would have looked a lot better in medium nougat or maybe in brown, but nonetheless, it's still a fun design choice. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use that beard as a nest before, but I will definitely be trying that technique in my next mock. Next up, did you know that the designer of the set actually gave the town square a name? According to a designer interview and on LEGO.com, the name of the village is Felsa. This is pretty unusual for LEGO Castle, but I am all for them coming up with different names and adding in more story to the sets. A fun note about the name Felsa is that there is a cheese by the same name, so I wonder if that's a nod to the cheese makers in the town. I honestly think that the guy that noticed that might be onto something. Even if it isn't, it's still a really funny coincidence. Now, in addition to that, the designer also came up with a little story for each of the minifigures in the set. So you have the carpenter who he says makes all of the furniture for the Lion Knight's castle. And if you go to look in the dining hall of the castle, sure enough, you'll find the exact same style of chair. That world building is just super fun to me. But my favorite little character story that he mentioned was the shield painter. I love that she basically has the I was born in the wrong generation attitude towards being a Viking shield maiden. It's such a dumb little detail that I really appreciate. I hope they include all of the backstories for the characters in the instruction manual. They did something similar in the 90th anniversary castle, so I think it's got a pretty decent chance of happening. Speaking of references, next up let's take a look at this tapestry inside the Weaver's Workshop. This stickered tapestry of course looks gorgeous, but it's also got some history to it. It references two very classic LEGO Castle sets in the Yellow Castle and the Knights Tournament set, but the composition of the tapestry itself is another reference to this image from a 1981 Castle catalog. You can see these similarities in the rolling hills in the background and the same style of trees. Now, as good as this sticker is, I do see a lot of people mad about them, and I agree, stickers are not nearly as nice as regular prints. However, what I plan on doing with the sticker is flipping it around so that I can hang it down from a castle's throne room. If this was a printed piece, the design would never be able to be used in a mock like a tapestry would actually be hung. I seriously cannot wait to get my hands on this piece because it's going to make for a killer castle decoration. Next, let's take a look at a couple of stickered references in the set. Over on the tree, we have some stickered flyers that talk about a goat for sale. Now, my favorite bit of this sticker is that they crossed out the previous price of what looked to be maybe $40 or $60 and has a new price of $10. This is such a cheeky reference to the insane aftermarket price that the goat had. It's really just rubbing it in the face of all the people who invested in the old LEGO goat. Real quick, I'd just like to mention that I am very glad that they decided to go with dark bluish gray for the new goat. It's going to add a ton of variety into the white goats that we all have now. Moving on, there is another sticker warning of the wanted Wolfpack thief with a bounty on his head. This Wolfpack figure is genuinely almost perfect. Those torso details are wonderful, and they did a great job at bringing that design into the modern print style. The belt on the torso is a really nice touch considering he doesn't have any printed legs. I'm probably going to swap the legs that come with the set with a different pair from Bricklink. It'll be cool to see if down the line we get a Wolfpack set remake, maybe as a gift with purchase, but I would of course prefer it if it was a regular retail set. Now, the advent of this Wolfpack fig marks the end of every character referenced in the Lion Knight's Castle instructions becoming a real figure, except for Willa the Witch. Does this mean we'll get her in a Willa's Windship remake? I don't know. That's a pretty wacky and niche castle set that I'm not sure they would dare touch again, but who knows? I'd be down for it. There is actually another Fright Nights reference in the set in a poster that says beware of the Batlord returning. Basil the Batlord came back in the Series 25 minifigure line, but he was missing one important part of his kit. That being the Batlord staff. And something that I noticed in the promotional images for the set was this bat piece. The piece was only shown in images where the set was not fully built, so I'm wondering if there will be a hidden bat staff somewhere in the village. We'll have to wait to find out when the set actually comes out. It may very well just be a bat hanging from the ceiling of one of the buildings, but who knows, it's still fun to speculate. One of the more obvious references to classic castle sets is the design of the Broken Axe's Inn. The new inn takes on a lot of design elements from the classic Guarded Inn set. The red and black half-timbered walls along with the castle tower is a very obvious but much appreciated nod to one of Castle's most recognizable sets. But it also takes inspiration from more modernish sets in the medieval market village from Fantasy era, and this crane here is similar to the Mill Village raid set from Kingdoms. I love that the designer took all of the elements from 3 highly regarded sets and modernized them into this new one. The Guarded Inn looks especially good to me. That red and black is just a very classic look. And finally, our last little Easter egg or hidden reference is this painting in the Shield Painter's Workshop. At first glance, it's just a picture of a knight on horseback, but it's actually a reference to an impulse buy set called the Royal King. You can see that this box art was just stylized onto the tile in the new set. I'm not a fan of the Royal Knights, but I won't lie, this is a great reference, and it has some implications towards the Royal Knights King possibly coming back in a new set. And that's all of the fun little Easter eggs that I could find. If you'd like to hear me, Bricking Up Brad, and Cheesy Studios talk more about this set, go check out the live stream that we did on Brad's channel. There's a ton more stuff that we talked about in that video if you're still fiending for more info on the set. I cannot wait to make more videos once I get my hands on the set. Please let me know which Easter egg was your favorite, and if I missed one, please let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching.